hear that. I said, run when you hear that. You better run when you hear that. I said, run when you hear that. I said, you better run. I said, run when you hear that. Run when you hear that. You better run. I said, run when you hear that. Run when you hear that. Run when you hear that. Run when you hear that.
Staring at the world through my rear view. Just looking back at the world from another level, you know what I mean? Just staring.
Excuse me, yeah, sorry. It's gone a bit crazy. Hang on.
Alright,
Oh, there we go. Good evening, everybody. Bruce Foster here, Jetski Republic. Sorry about that. I was just trying to close down one of the pages there and it jumped to the next video on the page. Welcome, everybody, and hopefully you've all had a good week. Tonight we're bringing the phoenix up from the ashes, so to speak. Liquid Cartel. So we have Arjey Watson. I got him on as a guest. We're going to talk about what the group's all about. We'll have a discussion chat probably around about some of the things that have happened in the past. Yeah, they're rising up. He wants to get the group going again, and we'll see what happens. So I hope everybody's, like I said, I hope everybody's had a good week. And I've been pretty quiet so far. I think this might be just a little bit too loud, so I'll dial it down a bit. So yeah, so my weekend's been pretty quiet. Busy work wise, but it's calmed down a little bit. So I've got to look at the chat. So what's going on here? Hang on, I've got to log in. What's the chances of that? Dave Venel, good evening, sir. How are you? All the way from NZ, as usual. Weekly viewer. And much appreciated, Dave. Appreciate the support. So, wherever you happen to be yourself, let me know in the comments. Fire away a question. This damn thing is annoying me because for some reason it is asking me to log in, and I don't normally have to log in to view the chat. So here we go. That's it. Got it now. Oh. So Dave, I've missed your comment from earlier. Okay, so let's roll on. Let's bang on with with the night. And we got, yeah, like I said, we got Arjey Watson on. So let me just get him fixed up just now. So Arjey, I hope you're ready, and we'll get you sorted out here. Let's flick to the other page. And fingers crossed, it will all fire up, no problem. Good evening, Sarah Ann. How are you? Peter Grant. Good evening. Alright, so, right, that's the chat. I'm waiting, just waiting on RJ to log in. So, fingers crossed. There we go. Well, I'm in. Boom. Let's, hopefully he's okay. RJ, can you hear me okay?
We're on.
You are. Have you got a volume control there? You're a little bit quiet.
Oh, am I?
Unless maybe it's your mic. I don't know. Do you got a volume on your headset or something?
Just give me a sec. Let's see. There's one. I don't know if that helps out anymore.
There you
but,
go. That's better now. It's closer to your mouth.
Oh, right. Nice.
There we go.
That's it.
RJ,
I fixed it.
welcome, mate. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Listen, your profile picture is a bit different to what I expected.
This is really odd because I'm actually watching you. Oh, there we go. I am on the Facebook, and then
There's a delay. There is a
yeah.
slight delay. If you're watching on
Right.
Facebook, turn your volume off on the Facebook, because otherwise you'll get a bit of feedback.
Yeah, I've just muted it, so I think I'll probably just leave that in a separate window. Yeah, it is. I've got it. So that's my personal Facebook you're probably talking about, and the photo that's on there versus the face you see here. It's a bit of a joke with a couple of friends. So if you actually go through all my Facebook photos, my profile pictures, you'll rarely see one of me because it's just like I was just post someone else.
I did notice that. I did notice that because I was actually looking for one myself in the hope that I could to put up a decent picture of you, and I decided to just settle for the logo. So
yeah, the logo works. Actually, I like what you did with it too. How it just dropped down on that. Yeah.
Listen, these apps that you get nowadays are just fantastic for doing all that kind of stuff. It makes life so much easier.
Yeah.
First of all, about yourself, what's your interest in jet skiing? What got you into it?
Yeah, this is well, what got me into jet skiing. So, amongst most of your viewers, and a lot of people probably boo me off this one, but I've only been jet skiing since 2018. So,
Hey, that's not bad.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, it was actually pretty funny. So I didn't own a jet ski. I shared a jet ski with a couple of friends, and then it just became a really shitty event. So one of your mates would go out on your jet ski, and then you're sitting on the shore watching them have fun, and then it's your turn, and then they sit on the shore and they watch you have fun. It was really odd, and I sort of like, oh well, we ended up selling the ski and split our money three ways on it, and then funnily enough, what got me back into it about 12 months afterwards, I went to a car meet. I'm actually anything that can take anything that can take petrol and go fast. I'm a big fan of. So I mean, I've got an EV, so that doesn't really speak much for that. But
You've got an EV, so you're not really a rev head then.
Oh no, trust me. I've got some cars. I've got a lot of cars as well. So, it's much to probably a lot of your fans. I'm a Ford guy. So, and if it helps any better, I also like Sea-Doos.
Oh.
And I did sort of pay attention in your last podcast with Jetski Jake. I'm a big fan of. And he was talking about his jet ski, and I also ride a Sea-Doo, but Jake's got a better beard than me, so.
Hey, listen,
yeah.
he's cultivated that one. He's on numerous occasions he's cultivated that, and I don't know if you've looked back a few months ago when he got his hair shaved, and he got his beard taken off as well. He looked
really?
bald as. have a look through his page, and you will see some of the images in there. That was pretty bizarre to see him rather naked.
But it's also like in the last 6 months or so, I've been actually eyeing off these. There's like a bluish greenish GP 1800 getting around, that model.
The Yami.
Yeah, I actually really, really like it. And I think it's time that I've got a C2 RXT X300. And that's a 2020 model. So it's one of the first green ones that came into Australia.
Yep.
2020, 2019, something like that. I can't remember now, but it was yeah. So I got that, and so anyways, going back to the car meet bit and getting back into jet skiing. So went to a car meet. It was in this big car park here in Wollongong, in Albion Park. They call it the Danix car park. So Danix is a massive mechanic shop, and I was walking around with my best friend at the time, and looking at all these cars, and then just sort of walked past this shop that I've never seen before. I didn't know it was there, but it was a big Sea-Doo shop. I was like, oh, it's 10 o'clock at night. Of course it's closed.
Brainwashed.
Yeah. So it got me. I ended up going back so I was working from home the next day. I used to travel quite a fair bit for work prior to COVID, so I was traveling overseas, but I was actually home for the week. So I went in the next day, just innocently wanted to have a look at some jet skis, and before I know it, we're backing one in at the boat ramp, and I took it out for a test ride. And the sales guy's got me. He's like, "Oh, look, you test ride that, and you really liked it."
I swear,
and then
I swear, RJ, I swear it's a cult. It's definitely a cult.
They had me
Once
suck
they've
it
got
in.
you
They
sucked
really
in,
got
that's
me.
it. There's no getting out. There's no getting out.
Oh, and he showed me the picture of the green one. I'm like, wow, that actually looks really good. And
Racing green.
yeah, I can't remember the code name for the color, but I ended up going back to the Sea-Doo shop with him, and then before I knew it, I was laying down a deposit, and a couple of weeks later, I got a phone call from the guys, and I said, "Oh, look, your jet ski's in. It's in the crate. Do you want to come here and open it with us?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." I didn't really think much of it, and he's like, "Yeah, it's going to be the first one in the Illawarra, the green one."
Oh,
so
well,
if
nice
you
one.
and I should have vlogged it, and I didn't vlog it, but it was yeah, they opened up the crate, had a look around. It was really good. Got that brand new jet ski smell off it. Yeah, it was actually a really, really cool experience, and I brought it home. Didn't tell the missus I bought one. Yeah, that didn't go down well. So she actually she was
You
at
still
work
with
that
her
day.
by any
I brought
chance?
her. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
right, okay.
And I've made some other purchases I didn't tell her about, and then she found out the hard way. It's really like a boat. I bought a boat as well, and yeah. I did a lot.
Boys with toys. Boys with toys.
Yeah, I've got quite a fair bit, and yeah, so I brought the ski home, parked it in the garage, and I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't tell her, so
Hid it
left
in the garage. You never parked it. You hid it.
Yeah, I hid it in the garage, and then I'll openly admit that, and of course, the way our house is set up, instead of going through the big front door that we've got, that day she decided to come through the garage and saw the jet ski, and I was there with open arms saying, "Hey, we're a jet ski family now."
No Jedi mind tricks then to say you do not see this jet ski. You do not.
No. What jet ski? I don't know what you're talking about. Just borrowing it for a while. Yeah. So I had one of my friends. He was heavily into this jet ski scene, and I sort of spoke to him after I left the deposit. I rang him up and I said, "Oh." So one of my mates that I used to be really good friends with back in the day, we used to go down to the pub in our younger days, around 18, 19, and his name's Ricky Keller. And I told him that, I just laid down a deposit on a Sea-Doo RXT 300, and anyone that knows Ricky in this jet ski scene would know that he's a devout Yamaha rider. And he said to me, "Are you serious? Can you get a refund?" And I'm like, "No, I don't know, but I really like the ski that I've ordered. It looks really cool, and it goes really fast, and it cuts the water really good too. Like the hull in that ski is unreal." And he said, "So you can get a refund, and I'll link you up with the guys over at Kawasaki in Wollongong, and we'll also we'll go up to Sydney, and we'll go have a look at some Yamahas." I'm like, "It's too late, man. I'm sort of committed
Hey,
here."
you should
So
look at Kawasaki. Listen, you know what? Kawasaki's got a bit of a bad name, and I don't know why. Obviously I've got one myself. I've got an older one, but the hull itself is just amazing in the chop. It's so robust. And I know the new one, the new Sea-Doos and that are all kind of, they've upped their game on the hulls and stuff like that as well. So there's a lot of good reports coming out about the new hulls on the Sea-Doos, and I'm not sure about the Yamahas, how much they've improved, but I know the Sea-Doos have. But like the new model Kawasaki at the moment, it's still the original hull, similar to what mine is. But it takes an absolute hammer, and it's so good in the chop. There's a reason why it's really good offshore.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. So I've actually ridden all three. I've got
Yep.
a friend that's got a Kawasaki, some 300 something watt. I can't remember what it is. It's yeah. And then I got another friend who I work with. I actually work at Telstra, um, Telstra Enterprise, and another one of my colleagues has a
Shameless plug.
shameless plug. There you go, Telstra. Yeah, if you with Optus, switch over.
Nothing like
what is it?
capitalising on misfortune there, RJ.
Oh look, I don't. Yeah, that is a shameless, and that's a bad plug too. Look, that could have easily been Telstra.
I was going to
And it's
say,
happened
you know,
enough
the shit
before.
would hit the fan if I happened with Telstra.
Yeah, look, it's happened before. By the way, all of my opinions on this podcast are mine and mine only. They're not to call that out. No, I've got a colleague of mine who's got a Yamaha as well. It's the equivalent of the RXTX 300, so it's a three-seater, big thing, supercharged. I can't remember the model now. FX SVHO, I think that's what they're called. Anyways, I've ridden all three, and I can say that the Sea-Doo's fun. You sit a little bit lower. Definitely my model, you sit a little bit lower. When I'm on that Yamaha, you sit a bit higher, and that feels a little bit more comfortable when you're in the chop, when you're sitting higher. The way I explain it, it's like it's sitting on a stool versus sitting on a lazy boy, and the Yamaha sort of feels like
Did
that
you
lazy
say a
boy
lazy
cube.
boy? I hope you said a lazy boy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lazy boy. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Just thought I'd
Yeah,
clarify that a little there, because you kind of went a little bit subdued when you said that there. I just thought, did he say what I think he said?
It's definitely a lazy boy. Yeah. No, it's honestly, the Yamaha was a dream. Actually, I rode that through for people that know the Sydney area. I rode that from Kurnell to Watamolla Beach and then through Port Hacking, and it was an actual unreal ride. And my colleague Telly, who I think is going to be tuning into this podcast and listening,
Who's that?
Telly Pavlis. So Telly rode my ski, and he rode. Look, and at the end of it, he's like, "I actually wish I bought your ski." And I said, "Funnily enough, my friend was trying to aim me towards getting that FX SV HO, and his model is that black on black color.
Oh, yeah.
It's just unreal.
Yeah.
Looks really nice. On the water, it's unreal. And I fell in love with it when I sat on it and then rode it around for a day. I'm like, this just feels amazing. And yeah, and I said, hey, how about we swap? And he said, I don't think my wife's going to like that. So I'm like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, your
He's
Minister
got to
of Fun
keep
and
the wife
Finance,
happy.
same as mine.
He's got to keep the
Yeah.
wife happy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so now I've ridden all three. Even that Kawasaki, I've ridden the Kawasaki before too, and I've taken the Kawasaki through a sandbar. Sorry, not a sandbar, a bar. So like when the lake opens up towards the ocean, the
Envisions
sandbar's a
you
bit bad,
actually
isn't it?
riding it right through the sandbar.
Sorry about that, mate.
Maybe possible. I don't know.
No, I can let you know. I don't know how much it's going to cost me though. Yeah, no. So that's me starting into the jet skis and just really
Yep.
joining that Sydney
So-
Social Jet Ski Club.
Okay, so let's get on to for some reason I thought you were actually in Victoria. I don't know why that came about. I don't know why that popped into my head for some reason. So you're in New South Wales, Sydney?
Yeah.
Just
Wollongong.
Wollongong? Yep, okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so that clears that up. Peter Grant says, Yamaha revs your heart.
That's their tagline.
That's what he believes in. That's what him and his partner Sarah Ann Terrell. That's what they believe in. So good for them. Good for them.
That's the company tagline, by the way. The rider's tagline is, "Hey, Mr. Sea-Doo rider, I've got a tow rope in case you need it."
I'm glad you're having a go at Sea-Doo here. I'm like, whoa.
And there's a Sea-Doo owner, but I hear it all the time. Right? It's either that or it's a Sink-Doo.
I
Either
take
one.
no responsibility for what comes out of my guests' mouths, by the way, viewers. So,
I'll just turn my comment section off for now.
hey, listen, I've seen my fair share of every brand of ski getting towed lately. So, last Christmas I was no exception. I mean, I got towed back to the ramp myself during the Santa ride. So it happens. It happens to them all.
Yeah. I haven't had the pleasure of being towed yet, but I have towed someone else. I towed someone else who had a flat battery. We're out somewhere else and couldn't get the ski started. No one obviously has jump pack on them. So,
it happens. It happens to the best of them. All right, so let's talk Liquid Cartel then. Like before I let you explain where you fit in with it all, my experience of Liquid Cartel was when I first moved here way back in the day, and first got my ski, which was 2013. No, yeah, 2013 it was. First group that ever came up in my social media account, which was Liquid Cartel, and there was other people that ran it and operated it back in that time. I had no idea of what the group was like. They organised a couple of rides. We went out as a group, all that kind of stuff. The guy that ran it, he had a few other things on the go as well, which kind of really dragged the Liquid Cartel name into the mud a little bit. People ordering things and not getting them and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if you're aware of that in the past.
Yeah, I have looked into it a little bit. There's the one thing about me is like the past is the past and the future's yet to be written. So
exactly,
it sounds like
exactly.
It sounds like a song just then. But I don't really know. You heard it here first, right? Copyright. No, so I don't know who the previous owners were from back in 2013, 2014 days. Who I do know is Marty. So Marty owned.
Yeah, Marty had it
Liquid
lately.
Cartel.
Yeah, he managed to get the name. The name sat dormant for a while on social media, and Marty managed to get control of the rights to it. I don't know what he went through to get it. I know it took a long time to get it. So he managed to get a hold of it, and he's basically been sitting on it since. Now, obviously, you now have control of it. So I'll let you explain where your part in this is now. So,
but so we'll start from May this year. That's how fresh of an owner I am onto Liquid Cartel, and I'll tell you the actually probably better off reason why I chose Liquid Cartel first over anything. Before creating something myself, looking at other groups that are sort of sitting dormant, that have a really good community, like an organic community attached to the page.
Yep.
Before I looked at anything else, it's actually I mentioned before the person that sort of had a go at me for buying a Sea-Doo, Ricky Keller. So Ricky Keller was a close friend of mine when I was younger. And we kept in contact, and to cut a long story short, he passed away.
I heard about that. Condolences.
Yeah, and his funeral was towards the start of this year, and when I first got my jet ski, he sort of taught me the ropes, right? Because when I had a jet ski before and shared it with a couple of other friends, it was pretty much launched by the time I got to the boat ramp. I didn't really know what to do. I didn't know anything about, the procedures at a boat ramp. The sort of unwritten rules around what you got to do when you rock up, launch, and then move away as fast as possible. Make sure you get your bung plugs in as well. That's a pretty good reminder. I haven't been caught out on it, but Ricky taught me a lot of things, right? He even taught me like how to go through the bar. So if you're ever in Wollongong and you take your skiing to Lake Illawarra and you want to get out to the ocean, you've got to go through the entrance and there's a bar there. Yeah. And as the tide changes, it gets pretty rough. And he sort of taught me how to ride back into the lake and also out of the lake when it's getting pretty rough. And I've got to say, I've done it on the ski a number of times now. I've never done it in my boat, and I probably never want to try it on my boat. To be honest, it's a bit sketchy. So
it does look a bit sketchy. I've seen some coming in at the Spit on the Gold Coast, and they do look a bit,
Yeah, it looks like they could be in a bit of trouble. So
yes,
So he taught me a lot of things, right? And he had this. I remember his missus had a Toyota Hilux SR5. I don't know if she still got it. But on the back windscreen, it had this sticker, and I was like, I always wondered what that sticker was. Never had any words attached to it. It was just like a logo. And he had it. Funnily enough, he had it tattooed on his leg as well. And one day
I heard about that. Someone told me about that the other week when I mentioned that. Oh, it was Marty, I think it was actually mentioned it to me, because he mentioned Ricky's name, and I the name sprung in my head. It was sitting in my head, and I couldn't figure out why it was there. And then he told me, and I was like, oh yeah, I think I remember the tattoo on the leg. When he pointed, but I didn't remember him until he mentioned the tattoo on the leg, and then I was like, oh, I think I recall that now. Yeah, so he's the only only one in the country that would have had it.
Yeah, I know, one of one, rare. He's a rare build number, Ricky, and so I had that tattooed on his leg, and I remember it was like Australia Day or something, and I was down at the lake. We've got this specific boat ramp, and it's called the Skiway, so everyone launches their jet skis there. And he was there with his family. I was there with my family and a couple of friends as well. And I seen him. We were having a chat. You know, he was doing the classic Ricky and having a beer. And I just had to ask him, I said, "Man, what's that logo about on your leg?" And he said, "Haven't I told you about that yet? Like, I'm an admin on a page called Liquid Cartel on Facebook." And he told me a little bit about it. It's like a social community sort of thing. They organise rides and all that sort of stuff. And so when he told me about it, I followed the page and all that sort of stuff. But like we were, like, I guess here in New South Wales, the more predominant page that I see anyway around that, building a community around jet skis, is Sydney Social Jet Ski Club,
Yep.
SJSC.
Yep.
And the admins in there are pretty cool as well. Like they're pretty good. You know, Ricky's hooked me up with a couple of contacts in there as well. I've been out on a couple of day rides. You know, my longest ride ever was on a day out on with those guys, which is just absolutely mental. But so he had this logo tatted on his leg, and I didn't really think about it for very long. And when he passed away, I went to the funeral, had a couple of friends, a couple of boys from SJSC actually came with me to the funeral. You know, we shared our condolences with the family, and then we parted ways. And just sort of thinking, one day I was out on my skis. I actually damaged my shoulder. I haven't really been out on a proper ride for a very long time, but I went out. I find my peace in the water. That's what I really liked and shared, that yoga thing that you had going on. And I hope to God it actually goes forward and you actually have another
Yeah, I'm
day
going to
out
talk. I'm going
on
to talk
the
about that at the end of the show. Just
Yeah.
give people an insight as to what went up with that. So yeah, we'll get something going soon, hopefully. So timing's maybe not quite right.
Yeah, so Ricky and I both were like, we used to talk all the time, and you know the big thing that we used to talk about was around mental health. And I was just out one day, out in the ocean, just launched the ski, putted it out towards the ocean. We've got islands around here in Wollongong, 5 islands. So went around there, nothing crazy, just sat there, watched the sunrise, and was having to think about some, just trying to clear some head noise out. And for some reason, I just thought of his leg and that logo on his leg. And then on the way home, I was driving and I seen Carts, his missus, drive past me with the Hilux that had the pink logo sticking on the rear windscreen. And I thought, oh, wonder what's going on with that page. So I messaged Marty, and that was back in May. It's back in May this year. And I didn't know who Marty was at the time. And I just messaged the page and I said, hey, just, wondering what's going on with the page. I hasn't seen any movement. I know that there was a post a while ago about, under new management and you're going to try and do something with it, but it hasn't really moved in like 6 months or so.
Yeah.
Wondering if you're, willing to sort of let it go and, just tell me how we can make this happen. And within a day, we were talking. He messaged me from his own personal Facebook account. We were messaging there and trying to get things sorted. And so that's how I ended up with the Liquid Cartel page. And I got it, and I want to build it a little bit higher to what it is today.
When Marty took on the page, or he got control of the page, there was kind of posts and stuff like that got thrown around a bit, and the old people the people that were originally in the group were kind of coming back and saying, "Hey, great, At first they were all, does that mean I get my T-shirts? Does that mean I get this? Does that mean I get that?" And Marty made it clear from the start. He says, "Listen, whatever's happened in the past, it's nothing to do with me." So there was a few people were starting to say, well, let's get it up and running again and let's go, start doing things. And then it never really, for some reason, I don't know what it is, it just never really took hold of anything and nothing really happened with it. It could well be because nowadays there's quite a few other groups on the scene, and they're all doing their own little things. So, like, I think down your way, there's not really, like you say, apart from the social ride group that is down there, there's nothing really else down there, is there?
No, not really. And
not in
and
a
that's
social
Sydney
scene,
Jet-
anyway.
No. So I mean, you've got your regulars that sort of meet at the boat ramps around here in Wollongong, particularly like Skiway, and you got another one in Berkeley in the Asia's Fish and Chip Shop. I can't remember what that one's called, but you got your regulars that always meet there, and you just got WhatsApp groups and iMessage groups and Facebook Messenger groups, so you just sort of get invited to, and you sort of organise your own days, or you go to the big ones, the Sydney Social Jet Ski. So we all leave, a team of 10 of us here in Wollongong, we'll all go up to Sydney, or 15 of us all go up to Sydney, launch from Cornell Beach, and have a big ride day out there.
Yeah,
so,
the pattern here tends to be go in groups of 10, maybe 12 skis. There's not really, like, in the past it used to be, like Jeff Lakeford used to take rides out from the Jet Ski Riders Gold Coast and Brisbane group. He used to take like 30 odd, 35, sometimes even 40 skis out, and we would just kind of help follow up the rear and make sure everybody was still tagging along and not falling behind. But now we've kind of taken a more pragmatic, more proactive approach to, like, across most of the groups. The Jetski Jake family, Jetski Riders Gold Coast and Brisbane, they kind of take more of a safety first approach, where what's more manageable. If something goes wrong, what's more manageable for the group, especially those that are actually leading the group and helping support it on the day.
Yeah.
So it tends to be 10 or 12 skis, nothing more. Very, very rarely does it get any more.
Yeah.
So I think there's been a lot more emphasis lately, whereas in the past there used to be less emphasis on. We never really thought about the consequences or potential consequences. We just went out and rode and got on the skis and ride, and went places. We never thought about the potential for mishaps. But now I think in the back of our mind, with everything that goes on these days, legally and all these kind of things, nobody's willing to take the huge responsibility of such a big ride unless it's properly resourced, safety boats, all that kind of stuff, and they're few and far between. Like, I know Sea-Doo have got a ride, JSW have got the Sea-Doo ride day on Sunday, and they'll have safety cover there. They'll have like a boat and a couple of skis there, and it'll be insured as well. So the Santa ride's the same, and there'll be, Coast Guard will be there. There'll be safety skis and that there as well, making sure everybody's okay, and that's insured as well. So, casual social riding is a little bit of a different beast altogether.
Yeah.
Especially with the potential for things to go wrong.
Well, you've got you've got people from different skill levels that just jump on the ski and like. That's exactly it. And for some it can be overwhelming. I remember my first SJSC day in Sydney, just going out, and I honestly, there was like about 50 skis, and we're sitting at this beach next to one of the Sydney airport runways. We're just there, and it's really odd because like I rocked up with one of my mates. We launched at Cornell. We went across Port Botany, and we're next to this beach near the airport, near one of the runways. So we're watching planes land and take off, and next thing you know, there was horses getting into the water with their trainers. And I thought, what are we doing here?
Was it beside a race course?
Yeah, no, it wasn't near the race course. I think they put horses in the water for some sort of treatment or training or something. I got no idea, but
must be like an ice bath or something. I don't know.
Yeah, one of those things I went to. We were there, and I was talking to a friend, and then I looked up, and there was about 50 skis surrounding us. I'm like, wow, this is big. This was my first ride day, and I only had to ski for about 2 months or so. And I remember we all took off, and that sort of breakwall that runs up alongside that runway, we all took off, and I was sort of at the front of the pack. By the time I knew it, I was at the back of the pack, and everyone's whitewash was sort of pointing me in different directions. And I'm like, I don't know what to do, so I just waited for the water to settle, and then I went for it.
I'm laughing because our Santa ride that we've done every year has been a bit like that, especially not so bad when you spread out and you're able to do the after, but when we were trying to do the Guinness Book of Record attempt, it was a bloody nightmare to keep the distance required in order to get the record. And that's where the problems have always arisen, because like you said, everybody's got a different skill level and ability to control their ski. And I was, in my haste last year, I was trying to keep the distance the same as much as possible. And I was, because it's an older Kawasaki, it's got the old lever. And I broke the lever on my ski. I was stuck in reverse. So I was like, that was my ride over. That's how I ended up getting towed back to the ramp. So, problems there. But, big groups can be really intimidating to a lot of people, especially newbies. But there's a lot of new people getting on the water these days, and they're all looking to get out. I think we can't ignore them. We've got to try and accommodate them as best we can. So,
and the data's there to support it too. Like if you have a look, there's some stats going around the internet at the moment, particularly here in New South Wales. Over the years of COVID, the amount of applications that went through for PWC licenses. Now I'm not sure it's like in Queensland, but you got to get. Here in New South Wales, you got to get a boat license, and then when you get your boat license, you go for your PWC license.
It's the same, yeah. You get your boat license and PWC.
So PWC licenses up jet ski sales license, jet ski sales up. Everything was up.
Yep.
So no one could go on international holidays.
Yep.
They opened up the waters. So people that saved up 30, 40 grand to go on their big overseas holidays with, the missus and the kids or whatever, and then they just went, we can't leave the country. Might as well just do what we can. And I can tell you now, people.
And the thing was as well, you were allowed to go out on a boat or a jet ski to fish because you were feeding your family. Was the reasoning, because that's what it was. They were all doing up here. We had people suddenly strapping eskies to their skis, and they never fished. There were none of them fishing at all. It was just a couple of fishing rods beside their esky, and that was it. Off they went, and that was them out on the water in case they got stopped. It's just there was definitely a big upswing in people wanting to own a jet ski, and it was the easiest way to do it. I know there was a big uptake here, and the thing was, a few months back we had Ben Watson, funny enough, from one of the training places for jet ski licenses and boats, and he actually said that the license applications were going up through the roof as well, and it correlated with sales of skis as well. So it did go up. It was a lot higher than what was anticipated, considering nobody was meant to be really going anywhere.
Oh, it's absolutely nuts. And, we'll neither confirm or deny one of the hacks around getting out in the water with your jet ski was just carry a hand line with you, like one of those rolled up ones, and whack it into your storage.
That's
and
old
bring
school.
A fishing license
That's old school, that one. That's the way the locals...
If you get pulled up...
That's the way the locals do it.
Yeah,
that's the way the locals do it in Papua New Guinea. So the old rail line. But we've got the time. The clock's ticking a little bit. I've got just under 10 minutes left before I'll need to sign off with you. What's the plans?
Plans. Okay, so I've had the page now for 6 months. I've had to do things with Liquid Cartel as a name in the last 6 months. So there's a lot of work happening in the background, but you can't really see.
Was that registered business ABN,
right,
all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so like the ABN's been sorted, but there's other things too around trademarks and stuff that's happening. I really want to do things properly first before we go out and start launching.
Costly, eh?
So dot I's, cross T's for the business itself. Look, I still want to keep it as a community page in some way, shape, or form. In no way do I want to compete with any other community pages. If anything, I want to help promote them. I don't want to be the community page, right? But I also, what I do want to achieve is that this Liquid Cartel as the logo, everyone knows it as a community brand, right? And it's. I feel like it's got a lot more opportunity. That you mentioned it before. People used to the previous owners were selling things like shirts, and they were selling stickers and all that sort of stuff.
Mate, I've still got the original towel.
Yeah,
I meant to bring it. I meant to bring it through here so I could hold it up, and I forgot to bring it through. And actually originally had some T-shirts, and I threw them out just the other month there when I was having a bit of a clear out. So that would have been pretty cool. To have kept them as well. So
right, there'll be some coming through, and I'll send some your way as well. There'll be
I'll do likewise. I'll do likewise. We'll do a swap.
Well, yeah. So I'll just without giving too much away. It's a little bit more than T-shirts, but there's definitely T-shirts in that sort of product catalog suite. So there's going to be quite a fair bit coming from Liquid Cartel. Unfortunately, I think I'm going to be missing the mark for the summer season this year, but definitely next year we're going to be hitting the ground running.
Start small, mate. Start small. Small rides. You only need 2 or 3 people in it for a ride to start building it up. Then start getting a bit of a reputation.
Yeah, and more than just the rides too. Like I'm talking about these shirts and stuff like that. Like there's a little bit more than just the shirts. Like there'll be more towards that product catalog for Liquid Cartel to sort of offer some of our followers. I think it's going to be great. And I'm really, because I'm all in on Liquid Cartel, and the reason why I'm all in on Liquid Cartel is because of what my mate Ricky got me into, right? Like this whole jet ski thing has got me pretty good, right? Like I quite like it. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did. I'm a fisho, and you got boaties and fishos against jet skis, particularly here in New South Wales.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, listen, that's not a New South Wales problem. It's a global problem, believe me.
It's a global problem. Yeah, and I'm a follower of both, right? And I think there's a lot more ocean out there than there is land, and that means there's a lot of places where we can share and where we can have our fun and we can still fish.
Yeah,
so I'm here to support a community that supports both worlds. And you know that if I was going to create a tagline behind that, it's all around, you know, your mental health. Everyone goes out in the water for a reason.
RJ,
Yeah.
if I for your from your sounding the same as what I went through when I first started all this Jetski Republic. My initial idea was just to help promote other groups and, you know, help spread the word, and then I suggested to my friend, one of my friends, hey, what about a podcast? And he was like, nah, I don't think that's going to really work. And this was like about 3 years ago. And then last year, in the build up to last year when I started it, I had went through a period where I just wasn't really in the right place, and I had things going on. Health wasn't always the best, and I just thought, you know what, I need to snap out of it. I need to try and do something to kind of keep my brain going.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought, right, okay, if nobody wants to jump on board and help with the podcast, then I'll just start it myself. And I took the inspiration from Bobby Cardone. And that's what got me into it, because I thought, and there's so much information on YouTube that you can learn from as well, which is really where I got started. And then I picked Bobby's brains as well, about some of the things that he did and what he uses and all that kind of stuff. And like, to be honest, you start off, like for me in the podcast, I started off with just a laptop and basically a headset and a cheap mic. It was actually a pair of earbuds with a built-in mic. That's all I started with, way back in the day. So it changes. Your group will morph into whatever it morphs into through time. I never thought for a minute it would go to live streams, you know, live streaming events and stuff like that, and it has. That wasn't my intention when I first started all this. I was happy doing the podcast. I was happy doing, you know, the odd little T-shirt here and there if somebody wanted to buy one, and helping to promote the groups and get people on like yourself so they can put faces to names. And it just morphed into getting approached to say, hey, listen, you want to cover this event? Can you stream it? And I was like, yep, okay, fine. I did it, and it worked okay. It wasn't perfect, but I've kind of worked at it, and and that's where I'm at now. So I can do a live event if I need to do a live event. So it's not what I planned on doing at the start, but it's where I am now, and I can't be happier, to be honest. And it's with the support of other people that have helped get me to there as well. So it's not just all me. It's certainly helping people in the community and networking, which is what we do through this platform. That's really been a big help for me as well. You guys you'll end up being the same. You'll end up going exactly the same way, I think, or a very, very similar trajectory.
I think it's funny how organic growth works, right? You think you're going to go towards this sort of direction, and then you end up doing a podcast, and you end up doing live feeds, and you end up meeting wonderful people in this community, and you end up spreading the word, and you know what you deliver out to the community, and you do this off the back of your own free time to do this, and you don't expect anything in return, but what you do get in return, you don't expect it, is worth more than gold.
Like, I won't hide, from my perspective, RJ, I won't hide the fact that, I advertise, I've got a bit of advertising space, and I do get a little bit for that, but I've pumped that all back into what I've bought, and I'm still pumping a lot of my own money into this just to get the equipment that I need. It is expensive and a lot of investment in hardware, but I can't, I do it because I love it. I do it because I enjoy it. And I like to think people enjoy watching it as well. So you've got a long way. You're starting from scratch, so to speak. The good thing is the name is least known. The brand itself is at least known. Yeah, what happened in the past has happened, and it's stuck there. So we'll forget about that and we move on. So yeah, good luck to you, mate. I think it's gonna work out fine for you.
Mate, I can't wait. I think in 12 months from now, I'd love to come back on the podcast and tell you all the cool stuff that I've done, and also share with the community, some of the cool stuff that we're potentially going to be doing together. So
things will change very, very quickly, because by the time Christmas came last year for me, that was when the penny dropped. Hang on a minute, next year could be a big year for me, and so far it pretty much has been. So and it's only it's like you say, it just morphs. It morphs into something else and grows and grows and grows. Listen, mate, before you go, you got a minute. Big thanks and thanks and shout outs to supporters and loved ones.
Oh mate, I'd love to shout out and thank to everyone. I mean, including yourself, for sort of letting me into your podcast, but also the boys at Sea-Doo, here in the Albion Park, constantly supporting me and my repairs in my jet ski. They're pretty good. Now there's a ton of people I'd love to thank, and I can't really get it all out in 1 minute. But the boys at the Sydney Social Jet Ski Club, actually boys and girls at the Sydney Social Jet Ski Club, thank you very much, Ricky. I know you're up there listening somewhere. Thank you for sort of wrapping this logo around my head.
Mate, you're probably lucky he's not here. He'd be giving you absolute pelters.
Oh, yeah. He'd be in the comment section, 100% he would be, yeah.
Listen, mate, I'll let you go. Thank you for your time, and good luck. Oh, damn. There we go. Oh, cut him short. I knew we were running out of time, so apologies for the abrupt exit there. So, yeah, it was my apologies for that, Arjey. Let me just drop him a message, just to apologise for that. Right, there we go. So, anyway, that's Arjey Watson. Keep your eye out and look up Liquid Cartel. If you haven't liked the page, like the page. Give them the support. Like I say, it's had a checkered history in the past. Some good, some bad, but that's in the past. So let's give Arjey, as a community, let's give Arjey a chance to do his thing with the group. He's investing a bit of time in it. So let's give it all a go, and let's give it all the support that he deserves. So good luck, Arjey. Right, so let's go for the round up. And it's been a bit quiet lately. One of the things I will shout out is the Australian Water Registered Club, I think the name is. I can never get it right. For some reason, well, I know why, I'm not allowed on their page for some reason. But they had an event up at Redcliffe at the weekend there, and they had some races up there. They had rec lights and some stand-up skis, 1500 skis. Seemed to be, that looked like a cracking day for it, for some of the videos and some of the pictures that I've seen. So it looked like a cracking day. There are some results. If you get a chance, my suggestion is go through. If you look it up, you may already be in the page. You can look it up and have a look at the results there. If not, go through 8-1 Racing, and they've got highlighted some of the results from the weekend's racing as well. So they had it up at Bells Beach, which, but like I said, it was a cracking looking day. I would have actually had a run up myself, but I was a bit busy doing stuff on Sunday, so I couldn't make it up. So apart from that, we've got let's go over the pond to New Zealand. Jet ski race in New Zealand. They've got an introductory day over at Huntly, Lake Waihi. I think I've got it right. I'm sure Dave Venel will correct me. And yeah, so the idea is big group day out, get everyone together, including new racers. Bring your ski, learn how to race, and specifically get yourself familiar with specifically designed courses. And yeah, there's a wee barbecue at the end as well, so it's a free entry. Just get yourself down there. There is a registration to the event, to the day as well. So give these guys a heads up and get yourself registered. Any questions, drop them a message or drop a message to Dave Venel. Okay, so that's this coming Sunday from, it says 9 o'clock, but they've got it from 7 to 1. That's probably, oh, that might be our time. Yeah, so 9 o'clock through to 4:30, as you can see there. Look up the page, it's on there. And let's go, what's going on here? Wellington Jet Sport Club, 25th of November, they've got an event coming up. But they've also got a few other things coming up as well. They're Canterbury Jet Sports Club as well. I've got some stuff going on. New Zealand's got quite a lot going on at the moment, so definitely worth a look at if you're thinking about getting into some racing. Give the guys over there a shout. Richie Ryder, Dave Vennell, Sean Cresswell, these guys. Drop a message to these clubs and see if there's any way that they can help you out, whether it's ski for one of the rounds or whatever. I'm sure they'd welcome you over if you're thinking about it. If you're in New Zealand, get yourself along and get racing there as well. Learn to race. Always looking for new racers across all the groups, including here in Australia as well. So that's some of the stuff that's going on with them. Look up these pages. Let's go now. QPWC. Let's just see if I can get this one in. Alright, so final tally for the Long Winter Series after just a note of interest that the one of the rounds here, which is the Cameron Martin Memorial Round, was a one-off event and was not part of the QPWC competition series. So in the 1500 series, Bailey Cunningham took first place overall. Cooper Beekman got second. Taylor Porter got third. Ash Downs took out the Wreck Lights, closely followed by Troy T. Patrick Stibbard got third. Dan Colbert, he took out the Naturally Aspirated. Troy T got second. Jamie Eadie got third. The women's round, Janine Jackman got first place. Well done, Janine. Sarah Tyrrell got second. Alicia Downs got third. Beginners runabout, we got Ash Downs took out first place. Amateur runabout, we've got Peter Grant, followed by Eddie Fowler, and Dave Matichek is third. The Pro Expert Limited Runabout, Bailey Cunningham got first, Paul Baisley got second, Adam Murad got third. The Pro Expert Stock Runabout, Bailey got first in that class as well as Paul Baisley. Dave Vennell got third. Well done, Dave. Bailey Cunningham in the Pro Expert GP Open Runabout, he got first. Paul Baisley second. Kylie Almers got third. Stock Enduro, Peter Grant first. His partner in crime, Sarah Ann Tyrrell, got second. Ash Downs got third. And the Open Enduros was Bailey Cunningham got first. Eddie Fowler second. Tim McAuley got third. I hope I've said that surname correctly. So that rounds up the long summer series for the QPWC. I'm not sure what their plans are for their next series, whether they'll wait until 2024. I doubt if there'll be anything happening this side of Christmas, so we can only wait and see what's happening after Christmas. I do know that the Australian Water Registered Craft Club, I can't remember what it is. Somebody will correct me. They do have a series of events coming up, and it runs through till from December, I think it is, right through to June, I believe. So if Bailey or Tralee are on, they might be able to correct me and confirm what some of those dates are. But again, if you've got access to the page, to that club page, look it up, or look up 81 Racing. They also have a note of some of the stuff as well. So that's what's QPWC. New South Wales, let me just flick this one round. They're in a bit of maintenance mode at the moment. They've got their new committee in place, obviously putting plans in place. They can't make things happen overnight if they've got to apply for permits for racing venues. They're doing a stock take, tidy up of the equipment in the container and the trailer this coming weekend, 9 o'clock. Look them up, New South Wales Personal Watercraft Association. If you're down in Sydney, you're part of that club and you're in that racing scene down there, get down there and help them out. I'm sure they'd be more than happy to see you. Let them know you want to come and help out, so they've got sufficient snacks and food for you. And hope that all goes well for you. Good little get together down there. So let's go social. been a bit quiet lately. I know that Jetski Jake family, they've had some runabouts. Let's just move that over a little. There is 2 seconds. So, this was earlier today. That's Jake out in the mangroves on a fast mangrove run. So, looks pretty good. High tide. Checked it beforehand so they could go through it nice and clean without anybody potentially being in those mangroves and getting in the way. So they double checked it beforehand, so well done. And that was this morning. That was just a quick last second pop-up ride. Not many people would have went on that one. I think they had 4 skis in that one. There are a couple of other things going on. A lot of new members in the group. And not just this group, but in also the Jetski Riders Gold Coast and Brisbane group as well. A lot of new riders joining. They're all looking for rides, get experience. They want to go out with the experienced riders. So keep your eyes out for them and invite them along. So that's pretty much Jetski Jake's ride. They don't have anything planned this weekend. Keep an eye on their group though, because they have pop-up rides that Jake and Alan and a few of the other boys, a few of the other admins put together at the last minute, depending on the weather forecasts and the conditions. So keep an eye on them. Jetski Riders Gold Coast and Brizzy. Again, one of the other big groups. Now, this one here, I picked up this story popped up just the other late last night. Sorry, somebody got a brand new ski, and they were quoted $3,612. I hope you don't mind me putting this one out here. Let me just see, Cade. I hope you don't mind me putting this, talking about this. They got quoted $3,612.70 for their ski. Now, God knows what the insurers think he's riding, but it's certainly not a Lamborghini. But that is a scandalous amount of money, and I'd hate to think if anybody was with UE and that was the kind of money they were paying. Guys, shop around. Club Marine, Nautilus, Yamaha. There's actually Bendigo Bank Insurance, which used to be CGU, I believe it was. They're actually quoting. Just make sure you check your terms and your conditions, what you're buying for your money, and make sure that you're covered the way that you want to be covered. Especially if you're going back and forward to the ramps, you want to be covered for that as well. So it's like, I know that some people don't ride with insurance. That's their choice. That's their choice. They're willing to take on that risk. That's fine. You know, there's an argument that insurance is not really worth the paper it's written on. And I guess that's probably true, because we all know insurers are always trying to look for a way not to pay out. But peace of mind, I think, for me, I'd rather have it for peace of mind. And if I'd hate to think if something did happen and I seriously injured either myself or someone else, that there's some kind of financial compensation or help that's going to help get everyone back on their feet again and up and running. So shop around, okay? Don't be frightened to ask the questions like what Kate has here. He now knows that he's got to go. Yeah, there you go. Sparks Tricks. That's what he got quoted. Over $3,500 for a Spark Tricks. That's shocking. Absolutely shocking. So, yeah, shop around, and if you're not sure, ask. There's someone there. Any rides on Friday night or Saturday on the north side? Basically, is there any Brisbane River rides? I don't know if there's anything planned. I haven't seen anything planned at the moment. Let's just see what the yep. Yeah, I think Tyler's answered the question about the Brisbane River's about the only place you can really go at night on the north side. It's the safest place to go. It's lit up. You know, even like I personally wouldn't go out in the dark, way out in the middle of the bay at Redcliffe or wherever. It wouldn't. That's not. It's too much potential there for disaster. So Brisbane River is definitely the one to go. Organise it. Get yourself down to the Colmsley boat ramp. which is just near the bridge, and then just ride down the Brisbane River and stop off at the powerhouse, have a bite to eat. It's a nice ride. It's actually really quite nice. Just make sure you have the legal night lights set up on your skis. There are a number of posts, number of comments that have been made in the group chat, in the groups here. So you can search these groups for nighttime lights or navigation lights, and there'll be plenty of responses in regards to it. So Jet LED, if you're in doubt and you're looking to get them done professionally, my recommendation would be go and speak to Ant at Jet LEDs. Okay, he will sort you out and take care of you. Where are we at? The rest are just for sale. Now, from my perspective, I had hoped to have Body and Mind Ride this coming weekend on Saturday morning. I had a qualified yoga instructor all fixed up, all lined up to do it. Unfortunately, there wasn't much interest in it. I had 3 people that were wanting to do it, and I was one of them. So 2 other people they were keen to do it. Now, I'd like some people's feedback on maybe where the pitfalls were for this. Where did I maybe go wrong? Was it the fact that there was no definitive where we were having it until the week before, or a couple of weeks before, or no departure ramp? I did make it, I think if I remember correctly, I did make it clear in the description that we would be leaving from Scarborough Boat Ramp. Yes, I did. So it was, the details were there. Was it the cost? Was it the cost of $10 a ski, which was being used to pay for an instructor who was giving up their time to make sure we had a proper instructor and everyone was insured while they were doing that activity? So that was just to cover the yoga. The ride itself is just like any other ride. The plan was ride over to the wrecks from Scarborough Boat Ramp, Boulevard. Sorry. Then, by the time we got off the ski, get set up and whatever, we would get down to having a yoga session for about 45 minutes or so, and then it was just kind of chill out a little bit, go grab a bite to eat at Castaways, and then have a ride back down to the Tangalooma wrecks at the resort or near the resort, and then head back to the ramp. So that was the itinerary for the day. I would love to do this activity in the future. It's still not something that I'm going to give up on. I just probably need to fine tune it a little bit, better prepare it. Maybe have to, this is where I'm looking for your feedback. Provide me with the feedback that will help me plan this a bit better, and give people more of an opportunity to take part in it. I've got it's the same yoga instructor that's willing to do it. She was actually a little bit disappointed that we had to cancel it, had to postpone it or cancel it. So she is keen to do it. It's a very, very different. Now, as I say, it's body and mind. Arjey talked about it earlier. We talk about the peace and the tranquility that we have while we're on our skis, and it's our happy place. That mentally helps us, okay? The body can be a bit wrecked sometimes from being on the ski, but it's not just about being, banged up or whatever on the ski. It's banged up by, in life, and the whole idea was just to have a chill day, ride over to the wrecks, do the yoga, hang out, socialise, have a bite to eat, get to know each other, have a few laughs, ride back down to the Tangalooma wrecks, and then ride back over again. And if there was sufficient interest in it, we can do it on a regular basis, and that's ultimately what I would like to do, maybe once a month, for example. Yeah, I'd love your feedback. Please give me your feedback on maybe what would help for you to attend this particular activity. I'm still looking to have it at Boulevard Rex, which I think would be just something really different, and that's what I want to do, especially with the summer months coming in. I think it would be a great little thing to at least try it, and if it doesn't work, then at least we gave it a go. You know what I mean? So on that point, keep your eyes peeled. Give me your feedback. Happy to receive the feedback, and hopefully we can rearrange this for a more suitable date for everyone, and we can get everybody there. Okay, so that's that one, and that's pretty. Give me a second. Let me get this one. I've just realised I've went nearly an hour on this show, and I'm just thinking to myself, something's not quite right, and I don't have my light, which is usually on in front of me, and maybe you don't want to see me all lit up, but see me in my natural ugliness. So anyway, what do we have? So Richie, if you're still tuned in, mate, thanks for tuning in. Who have we got? We've got a few people watching. We've been quiet, not a lot of comments. Daz, if you're in the UK and you're still watching, mate, well, you're obviously in the UK. My regards to you and Karen and your family, and especially your mum. So hope she's keeping well. And everyone else, thank you for tuning in. And it's been a pleasure. Please, in future episodes, please don't hesitate to fire a question in. Give us a hi. I love the interaction and that chance to have a bit of a chat. So, Trellee, I've just seen Trellee's message. Here's our 2 cents worth in relation to what we were talking about earlier with brands of skis. Sea-Doo rule the world. They do. There's no doubt about it. It's purely by sales and the number of them that are out on the water. So there's definitely no. I'm not questioning that. I'm not doubting that for a second. So you are right. Jake, Jetski Jake, guys, remember look their page up. Greg Cross, Matt Rogers. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Next week, I still don't have a guest on at the moment. I haven't lined up anybody. I'll figure out something. We'll get somebody lined up for it. Until next week, we'll be back at 7 o'clock as usual, doing all the usual stuff. We'll have another guest on, another topic. We'll chew the fat. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to leave you with favourite from the Whit Sundays. It's Mondurand. It's a little bit of an older video that he's got on his YouTube channel, but I think it's worth a look anyway. So I'll leave it with you, and until next week, stay safe, look after each other, and make sure you have plenty of fun. Good night.